lines. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvabhanu Sute Devi Pranamamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prashati Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Kadambakanan Swami Namane. Okay, dear devotees. So yesterday we finished, 3 days marathon, which was included, our 10th year anniversary of our Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. And on Friday we did our Balram Purnima. And then next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're going to celebrate Sri Krishna Janma Ashtami. Even though it says Janma doesn't suits to Lord Krishna because he doesn't take birth. He himself says in Bhagavad Gita, I am Ajanma, I am unborn. I am unborn, still I take birth. But in which sense? It's up to him. If he takes birth, he can appear. Usually he appears because he doesn't take birth like us as a conditioned soul. We are forced to go into a particular womb of a material nature, and then we are forced to live there for 9 months or 8 months, whatever, and then we come out, and then we struggle in this material world, since the beginning and since the time we are injected into the womb of material energy. But this rule or this situation doesn't apply to Lord Sri Krishna. Even though before starting the lecture, Prabhu already says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tadvataha tektva deham punarjanma neti mam eti so Arjuna. Oh my dear Arjuna, the person who knows my transcendental nature of my appearance and activity does not upon leaving this body take birth again into this material world. Means all his activities are completely transcendental. It doesn't come under the grip of the material nature. It's completely aloof. But avjananti mama mudha manusham tanam ashritam. Those who are fools, those who are stupid, those who don't have any knowledge about myself, Lord is saying, or about this material nature, they think Lord is like us. Many times Srila Prabhupada in his teaching, he says, the way a journal, the main journal, or who is the in charge of a prisoner, when he comes to the prison just to look around, everything is going nicely. When he's in the prison, when he goes around and he looks around, so the prisoners who are behind the bars, okay, they see and they laugh at the prisoner, that the person who is the in charge, and he says, look at that, we are also in the prison and he is also in the prison, he's like us. But the problem is that they forget that we are forced to go into the prison, but he comes according to his sweet will and he will go whenever he wants. That is the situation of Lord Shri Krishna. So Sambhavami Atmamayaya. Whenever he wants, whenever he desires, he comes to this material world and he goes out of this material world. But the foolish people like us, we think, oh, he's like us. We are also born, he's also crying for food, he's also stealing, he's also running after many, gopis, and he's also trying to protect his family members. He's trying to protect his honor and dignity. He's also fighting and struggling. He lost his wife and is going to fight for his wife. Many things, many rumors are there. But he has already mentioned in 4.9 Bhagavad Gita that all my activities, all my appearance, they are completely, completely divine. They are completely, completely transcendental. Okay, and in another way, Canto 2, chapter number 3, text number 17, a very beautiful shloka which is very dear to my heart. It says, Ayur harti ve pumsan udyam ashcham cha yan ashu tasya arthe yashanoniti uttama shloka vartaya. That means Ayur Harti Vaipumsa. Ayur means our age. Harti means it's decreasing. So as soon as the sun rises and sun sets, every time sun rises and sun sets, it's snatching or taking away the life of duration of every living entity. Except those people, Uttama Shloka Vartaya, those who are engaged into the hearing and glorifying the pastimes of Uttama Shloka, which is addressed to Lord Shri Krishna, who is being glorified by the best of the shlokas. So the person who are engaged in the glorification of Lord Shri Krishna, the time does not apply on them. They are completely aloof. Whatever they have to do in this material world, they are going to do same thing in the spiritual world also. So it is a kind of a net practice in this material world. So this rule doesn't apply to devotee, those who are completely sincere and those who are determined to please the Lord, whatever skills or qualification they have. And in before the topics of this evening is that reason for the appearance of Lord Shri Krishna. As we know, it is a very famous shloka that in Bhagavad Gita, paritranaya yada yada hi dharmasya, glanir bhavati bharata abhittanam adharmasya tadatmanam shajame aham. And then following verses 4.8, paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I think these two shlokas mostly every Indian knows because they have watched the televisions and serials, so they know because that's how the Mahabharata starts, with these two shlokas, very, very famous, and they know it. Okay, there are three reasons that Lord Krishna appears, you know, Paritranaya, sadhuna, to protect his devotee, Vinashaya, to means annihilate whom? Vinashaya dushkritam, those people who are miscreants or those who are giving hard time to the devotees. And after doing that, what he does? Dharma sansthapanarthaya, that he established the dharma. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it says, Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavat Parnitam, that my dear Lord Shri Krishna, you are Sakshat Dharma. So your means ki your instruction is a dharma. Whatever you have said, that is only dharma, and whatever you haven't said, that is called adharma. So this information that we get from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, which is the summum bonum, which is the face of the Supreme Lord, in the first canto itself, when the title says the advent of Lord Shri Krishna, how does the Lord appears? Because before it starts, there is a blessing. Before this story starts, how Lord appears. Because in Canto 9, when it's about to finish, Parishad Maharaj asks question ki, now my dear Lord, please kindly narrate me the story of Lord Krishna's pastimes, how he appeared and why he was born into the prison under the custody of Kamsa, then why he has transferred from prison to Gokula, and many other questions he asks. So that's where it starts. So before it starting, the speaker, it gives the blessings, and he says that Vasudeva Katha Prashnaha Purusham Strini Punatihi Vaktaram Prachachakam Shrotams Tadpada Shalilam Yatha. It means the way the Ganges come out, okay, from the toes of Lord Shri Vishnu, it purifies the three world, upper, middle, and planet. Similarly, as soon as the Srimad Bhagavatam or the narration or the glorification of Lord Shri Krishna starts, it purifies three things. Because as I said, when the Ganges come, it purifies the three worlds, upper, middle, and lower. So similarly, as soon as the nectar of glorification of Lord Shri Krishna starts, it purifies three things. First, to the speaker. Second, to the person who asked the question. And third, to the general public who is hearing. Okay, when Sukadev Goswami started, okay, speaking Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj was asking questions back and forth. I mean, whole Srimad Bhagavatam is full of dialogues, conversations. So as soon as it's starting, because he himself said early in the Bhagavatam also that thank you so much. I'm very pleased by your questions because you are giving me a chance to purify myself. So Sukdev Goswami, Prishit Maharaj, and the people who were general people who were around them, they were also tasting the same nectar what the nectar was tasted or tasted by the speaker and the person who is asking the question. So the same thing is saying you are giving me opportunity to taste this nectar over here. So Parikshit Maharaj, when he asks that, then Sukdev Goswami opens up the narration ki how Lord Shri Krishna appears. Even though he already said, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Pritranaya Sadhunam. So now he says that once, Mother Earth, she was completely devastated, and she was very, very frustrated, and she was very angry too, because she's a personification, and when she is a personification, so she's also following the instructions of Lord Shri Krishna properly. So make sure she does her duty. She gives all the herbs, all the grains, all the fruits, water and everything, so the human and other living entities survive, and they perform the dharma according to the Vedic scriptures. But when she find out that so-called kshatriyas or the kings, you know um, the demonic people, yes, they were the atheist people, demonic people, those who have taken the role of a king, and they are not fulfilling the duty according to the Vedic scriptures. So she was completely frustrated. She tolerated a lot because she's known for her tolerance. First of all, she's in the form of a female, and she's Mother Earth. She's tolerating so many things. When her tolerance level was just finished, she cannot tolerate anymore, then she took the form of a cow, and she approached Lord Brahma for the cure. And she went there, and she got tears into her eyes. She was completely crying. And Lord Brahma knows everything, but he wanted to hear from her mouth that what has happened. And she explained everything, why she's crying and what is the reason, what is the purpose she is coming and visiting Lord Brahma. And she opens up everything. There are so many demonic people, there are so many selfless people. People are lying, they're cheating, they're not following the dharma, they are doing so many sinful activities. Just due to that, I am very, very sorrow, I'm very, very sorry, kindly please help me out. And Lord Brahma, even though he's a secondary creator, but actually the whole management is done by Lord Indra and the other demigods, because Lord Indra is the manager, is the manager to look after all the universal affair. So this is a lesson from them, that when any queries come, even though he's the secondary, he's the Lord, he's the in charge of everything, he didn't take up the decision alone in itself. So what he did, he called everything. Indra came, Chandra came, Vayu came, Lord Shiva came, everybody came, and then he had a discuss with them, like an annual general meeting, GBC meeting we do in Mayapur, in January or February we do it. So they were also having, this emergency meeting. What can be done? She's very, very in painful. So they discussed, and they find out that, well, this cannot be solved by us. So who is the right person? And then what they did, so Lord Brahma says, okay, let's go and approach our Lord Vishnu. And when they reach there, they reach the shore of the ocean of milk, where the demigods, all the demigods, including Lord Brahma, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, in the form of Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who was lying on the ocean of milk. Okay, when who were lying, they used Purusha Shukta prayer. Purusha Shukta prayer you can find out in Canto 2, chapter number 6. That whole canto has got 10 chapters, but especially the canto chapter number 6 is fully dedicated, and the title itself is called Purusha Shukta. So, and it comes from the Rig Veda. And all the demigods, they just start, glorifying the Lord. You are the only one. You are the source of everything. You are the origin. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Then so many prayers will happen. And by being pleased by their prayers, so look at that, the beauty of the Lord, because Brahmaji, he only heard the voice of Lord Vishnu in the form of instruction. Why other demigods didn't hear? Because their devotion was mixed. Their devotion was mixed, and they were not doing the pure devotion. Only the Brahmaji was doing the pure devotion. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that only the competent people, sometimes who are well qualified, who are pure in their practice of Krishna consciousness, sometimes they hear the voice of the Paramatma. They completely hear the voice of the Paramatma. And that's what the Lord Brahma did, and all the instruction was imparted to him. Even though in Srimad Bhagavatam, the first shloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is first canto, first chapter, first shloka, where it says Tene Brahma Hirdaya Adi Kavye, that Lord Krishna, he gave the knowledge of whole Veda into the heart of Brahmaji. Only Brahmaji was qualified to hear that. When he heard all these things, you know, I mean, he was completely surprised. Because why not? Because he was exactly doing the way the Lord was asking him. And Prabhupada mentioned in his teaching that some people may doubt. Some people may doubt, how is it possible? Only he just heard, not anybody here. So Prabhupada gives an example, like if you see the modern technology, they use a landline phone. Somebody is in Australia, and someone is in America. They can speak through the landline. Only these two people can hear, not anybody else can hear it. So if the modern technology can do such a wonderful act, so why not this spiritual knowledge? Why not the Lord can do it? If we can speak over the phone, like nowadays we do have this small tiny phone. It used to be a time where we didn't have this phone. We used to have a landline where there was a wiring attached to it, and the wiring has go to the telephone exchange here and there, and that's how we speak country to country. But now you can see there is no landline. It is everything on a satellite here. So if the modern scientists can do such a great wonder, then why not Lord Shri Krishna? So he said, ki only the people those who love the God, those who know, those who have trust on him, only they can, relate to this knowledge. If you see the Srimad Bhagavatam of Canto 10, when it doesn't start immediately, glorifying the Lord, because first two, three chapters are giving the philosophical understanding. So when we see the Lord in third, fourth chapter, when he started killing Putana just at the age of 3, and when he starting, killing other car demon, Aghasur, and just trying to carry the lift, the Govardhan at the age of 7. So before that, people should know who is actually Lord Shri Krishna. He is not just a small boy. He's a supreme personality of God, and he is a Lord all the time, whether he's a boy, whether he's an adult, whether he's old. He's all time. He is supremely absolute powerful personality. you know like when we are baby, we cannot move the bed or we cannot move the table, but when we are grown, we are young, we are strong, then we can move. When we are old, we cannot move. So we also go through with many phases of life, but this rule doesn't apply to the Lord. So the Srimad Bhagavatam establishes, first of all, the Leela you are going to hear about the Lord, you should not see from the mundane perspective. It should be seen completely from the transcendental perspective. That's why the first two, three, four chapter establish, okay, who is the Lord, how he come, how he's been approached by the demigods, and how he informed them. Then he said to the Brahmaji, okay, you tell all the demigods, go and take the part. During my Leela, someone can be my friend, someone can be my uncle, my auntie, my girlfriend, my this and that. Then he gives everyone their role. And he says, very shortly, I'm going to be appear on the planet, and I will fulfill the wish of Mother Earth. and I will annihilate whatever the demon kind of personalities of people are, living, or they are about to take birth on the planet. So I'm gonna kill them all. So don't worry, just ask her to be relaxed, chant Hare Krishna. And that's what he passed on the message to everybody, and everybody got happy. And when the right time came, everybody just took the, you know, birth either in Dwarka or in Vrindavan or in Mathura. Everybody, they were just partaking, helping or trying to purify their existence while taking the part in the Lord's, pastime. Actually, if you see, Prabhupada says that Krishna is not just only appeared uh, that time, when he appeared 500,000 years ago. Actually, Krishna still is present with us. He says, in this Hare Krishna movement, in the form of his holy name, which will certainly diminish the burden of the world. Especially the philosopher, religious Josephs, people in general must take to this movement very, very seriously. For man-made plans and devices will not help bring peace on the earth. That the transcendental sound of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is non-different from Lord Krishna himself. Actually, it has been said in Padma Purana that Nama Chintamani Vigraha Puna Suddho Nitya Mukto Abhinitvam Nam Namino. There is no difference between the sound Hare Krishna and Krishna himself. They both are identical. You know, we can also feel the people who chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the pure intention to please the Lord, with the purity. They can feel Krishna is dancing on their tongue. Krishna is completely dancing on there. If you see nowadays, Prabhupada writes many times, like the country to country, state to state, people to people, they all are fighting. They just want to kill each other for their self interest. That's what that's what the people were doing during Dwapar Yuga, at the end of Dwapar Yuga. So people become so self-interested, so selfish, that they are ready to kill their own children, which is Kamsa did. Kamsa was a greater example. I mean, first of all, he showed the immense amount of love towards his younger sister. I mean, no one can have done the reception or the marriage of his sister the way Kamsa organized it. And he was in so much love with his sister that he personally became the driver, the chariot driver, and he was going to drop his brother in law and his sister right to their palace you know but in his heart, everybody knew he's a demonic personality, and no one trusted him. Suddenly, when he heard this unknown voice, like the omen, something, he just heard that the eighth child of your sister Devki will kill you. Without a second, he didn't even think it. On his left hand, he just hold her, hair, and on his right hand, he just start taking up the sword to kill her. I mean, you can see that. One time, one side he was showing so much love as a brother, and second time he just became so self-interested that he was ready to kill his sister on the day of, her marriage. That's how, if you see now the people, especially if you see nowadays, like how the wars are going on, mostly everybody is getting into the war. If Prabhupada says, like, or even the Bhagavatam or the scripture says that very somehow or the one time the third world war will be started. As you can see, they, for their self-interest, because they just want to overrule their supremacy. My country is superior to your country, and if you don't follow, then I will destroy you. I mean, for their own personal interest, for their own personal sense gratification, they are ready to destroy the innocent people. You can see, I won't take the name of the countries, those who are fighting among each other. If you see the reason, if you see what is the actual reason they are fighting for, it looks so stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. So that's what Prabhupada has been said, or it's been happening over the period of time. Even though if the war gets stopped today, in the future, after 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, something else will pop up, something else will pop up, something else will pop up. Well, that's what Prabhupada says. This material world is so danger. I mean, it's not only danger on the earthly planet, from the heavenly planet to the Patala Loka to the hellish planet, All the 14 planets are full of danger. I mean, if you see in the case of Indra, heaven, every now and then he's been kicked out by the demon. Any powerful demon comes and he does some austerity and he gets some power. The first thing he does, he kicks Indra out of his post. He just kicks them out and he just jumps on the seat and he tries to enjoy the heavenly opulent, whether it's apsaras or wine or what's not. And that's what here people are doing in this material world. Without the Krishna consciousness knowledge, the practice of spiritual lives, people are becoming more and more demonic. That's why it is very, very important. And even one time in one of the lecture, Srila Prabhupada also says this ISKCON is the womb of Lord Shri Krishna, where Lord Shri Krishna appeared. I mean, if you see practically, Srila Prabhupada, he just made Krishna famous in this material world. Like no one knew that before Srila Prabhupada, went to West, when he came to America. We see practically the whole world was unknown. Even the Indian people, hardly anybody know who is Vrindavan. It was somewhere in the remote area. No one goes over there. Practically, it's completely. It was just a lost. It was like a lost village, like a lost state, or you can say a city or whatever it is, a village. It was completely lost. Only by the desire of a pure devotee, Vrindavan is known by all over the world. Wherever there is ISKCON temple, Hare Krishna people are there. People get to know, okay, tell me who is Krishna, and suddenly his description comes that he came, he took birth, or he appeared in the land of Vrindavan, in Gokul, in Mathura, and many other places. And so many people from all over the world. I haven't seen anybody that from all over the world people are coming to New York, or to Hawaii or to Florida. It's not access to everybody. But Vrindavan, you can see that there's so many countries are there, so many cities are there, or those cities are completely unknown to the world. Those people who are living over there, they are coming and visiting Vrindavan. And now Vrindavan is flourishing like anything. I mean, which is not really good in terms of a material point of view, because now it's not a village anymore. Now people are making so many apartments, buildings, or many other things. But as you can see, his only purpose was, the reason to appear on this planet is paritranaya sadhunam, just to protect his devotees, to protect his devotees, and by protecting, killing all the demons, those who are harassing his devotee, and establish the dharma. you know Otherwise, Krishna can do anything. I mean, he is living in the heart. He's living in the heart in the form of a Paramatma. If he wants, he can stop the valve. He doesn't need to come, he doesn't need to appear on the planet at all. He can just stop the valve there and that demon can die. But the problem is, the other people, those who are not fully atheistic, not fully demon, Krishna has to attract all the living entity with his sweet pastimes, which he played in Vrindavan, especially in his childhood. If you see, I mean, this is unparalleled. People very cheaply they say, I am God, or my father was a God, or my son is incarnation of a God, this and that. It's not so easy to tell everybody that you are a God. Look at the activity Lord has done. Just in the age of 3, he killed a lady, like a she demon, you know completely. She was 8 mile long. She was so big that like a 3 years old baby sucked the life out of her. I mean, who can do this? Many people think, those who are atheistic view, they think, oh, it looks like a fairy and tale story, but it is not a fairy tale story. These things are being documented in the scriptures. Like, if you see, 2 300 400 years back, if somebody says, who was the mayor of New York, you know so the official people, those who were living that time, those people, okay, they documented those names. Okay, so and so Peter Richard, from 1896 to 1915, he did his service as a mayor. Then after that somebody else came, then after that somebody else came, after that somebody else came. So everything is being documented officially on a paper. So when we don't deny those information, so how come, or how, or what right do we have to deny the Vedic scriptures which has been documented by the great souls such as Vyasadev, you know, and Brahmaji, Naraji, and many other personalities, those who were present there, those who saw Lord Shri Krishna, they documented all their pastimes in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the upcoming generation, or the upcoming, jiva, those gonna take birth maybe like now and in the future, so when they read it, so they can take the advantage, they can read and they can purify themselves. But some people say, I don't, maybe it's a myth. It's not a myth, it's a history. You cannot call, myth to the history. The proof is there. Even though if you go to Dwarka, the many scientists, they just been into the water, to the ocean, and they found out, okay, there is a city, and there is a proof. There is a city, there's a whole city, the pillars are there, the houses are there inside. So how come when they do the research and they find out that, okay, definitely this is like not a very recent accident, it's been like 5,000, 6,000 years old, this building is under the water. I mean, how come a building can be under the water for 1,000 or 5,000 years? It can be dissolved, okay, and it can be broken, but it's a palace of Lord Sri Krishna. So he has left some remnants. Okay, he has left some remnants here and there. Those who wants to, read, those who want to research, those who wants to find out, so the evidences are there, of course, in the Vedic scriptures and outside also. If you want to look around, you can look around and see, you know the purpose is same. So that's why Srila Prabhupada, I mean, the same thing is happened. Prabhupada writes, or Lord also is in 4.8 purport, that either Krishna appears himself, or either he sends his pure devotee or is represented to establish the dharma. When Prabhupada came to America, the whole America was struggling, especially the youth. They were struggling and they don't know what to do in their life. Okay, so Prabhupada introduced Krishna consciousness to the world. So by doing that, people, Prabhupada also saved, Paritranaya Sadhunam. Prabhupada came to save the people, though later on who became devotee. Prabhupada says everybody is a devotee in this material world. It is just a matter of time. They need to be introduced to this Krishna consciousness movement. So as soon as they've been got introduced, they will become devotees. So Prabhupada also came, Paritranaya Sadhunam. So he protected the future devotees. And what he did, Vinashaya ja Dushkritam. So those Dushkrita means in the form of philosophers, scientists, and the teachers, or many other occupations, those who were denying, or those who started the propaganda that there is no God. Prabhupada killed them through his books. Even the many atheists, if you see in our movement, there are so many that those people used to be atheists, but by reading Srila Prabhupada books, they turned into theists. They become Vaishnavas, and they are also now studying, chanting Hare Krishna. They are also preaching, and Prabhupada also established the dharma. You know, Prabhupada established dharma means the instructions of Lord Shri Krishna. So every town and village, Srila Prabhupada, send his soldiers, go distribute my books. I'm making you sannyasis, go preach the message of Lord Krishna. He didn't allow anybody to rest even for a single moment, because he said, I have no time. I'm such an old man. Whatever, every day is very important. Even every single minute, every single hour is very important for me. I don't know. I'm an old man. I can be out of the scene anytime. So whatever time I have, let me train you. You please get trained. Once I go, you please push on this movement like that. So we all have a great heavy responsibility on our shoulders, every single of us. It's not that it is a duty of a brahmachari, sannyasis, or some. No, whoever you are, whether you're a householder or not a householder, you are working class people, not working class people, everybody has got a responsibility to pay off our debt to Srila Prabhupada or to all the acharyas in our movement. Because the way the way Mother Earth, okay, the way Mother Earth, offer her prayer, and she's inviting Lord Krishna, please kindly appear on this earth. So we have to do the same thing. We have to offer our prayers to Lord Krishna. Please kindly, my Lord, appear in my life, appear in my heart. So but if he wants to come and sit in the heart, so but there already six tenants are there: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya. So we have to take them out from our heart. So let Krishna sit, and it will only be happen when we share Krishna consciousness more to the people. It says the more you share Krishna to others, the Krishna will give more himself to you. So it never decreases. The more you will share, the more you will get. So that's how we need to take up the vow. And now it is going to come just in 6 7 days, and it's such a beautiful appearance. I've never ever seen, or I'm pretty much sure all of you have noticed, that nowhere in the world that they celebrate someone's birthday the way we do to Lord Shri Krishna. Every single house, mostly or majority, every single house in India or outside India, those who know Lord Shri Krishna, they do celebrate somewhere, even though we don't know, maybe far remote, because Prabhupada has opened this movement to every town and village. Even the small houses, those who are Vaishnava, they have kept the photo of the Lord on the day of Lord Krishna's appearance. They do celebrate according to their capability, whatever they can offer to the Lord. They do fasting, they read Krishna book whole day, whole night, and they share with others. They let others chance to become Krishna consciousness. So we do have to do the same thing, here also. So please let it push this movement as much as we can, and get the mercy of the Lord when the right time will come to leave the world, so we can also think about the Lord. Okay, I'll stop here and see if anybody has any questions or anything else to add on.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Beautiful class, nicely explained. So nice. It was hearing another wonderful pastimes which was mentioned in the Garga Samhita. Gargacharya put this.
Mm-hmm.
When in Goloka Vrindavan, it's in so there was always beautiful pastimes happens. So Krishna one day went to the different gopis. That there are two groups of gopis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Radharani didn't like that. Radharani became so upset. Radharani told all the Lalita, especially Vishaka's Sagis, because of the Vrindavan, Radharani has a different palace and beautiful arena, gardens. Krishna comes there, whenever Krishna wanted to, Krishna comes to Radharani to that beautiful palaces. This day, Radharani knew that Krishna went with Indravali. So Radharani was so upset. This is all gives that a very feeling of separation with Pralamba. Also gives pleasure to the, it's a pastimes, Yoga Maya, righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
So Krishna came after some time, as if like Krishna is so innocent, nothing happened, and as if like, wanted to see Radharani. So Radharani already arranged to Krishna, if Krishna comes, do not allow inside. Do not allow inside. So Lalita and Vishaka and other Manjaris and the assistants, they were there on the door. And Krishna came as if there is coming very, intensely to see Radharani. Next time, they stopped. Radharani, stop there. You cannot go ahead. Krishna asked, why? What did I do? Why are you stopping me here?
Mm-hmm.
You just go and ask your princess, your master, that Krishna is come here, and she would allow me. Lalita said, no. Lalita said, when Radharani said that your Lord said that no allowance, no entrance into the palace of Srimati Radha. So seeing this, Krishna's friends came, especially Sri Dhama. And Sridham was the brother of Radharani. And then all the Subala, Madhumangala, Stoga Krishna, everybody came. So there is a big quarrel between these Gopas and the Gopis. So then they came and they kind of, then finally Radharani came. So Radharani came, and seeing this, Radharani also mentioned that you were acting like an ordinary person, so you should go down to the earth. So that's where the Shangachuda, Sridham, became the Shangachuda in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then the Lalita, then Sridham also cursed, right? And to Srimati Radharani, because of it's all arranged like that. You also should go down to the earth. So now they also, Lalita also then research, Krishna, you also have to go down to the earth.
Yeah.
So then that's the time then Radharani, and I saw they are so celestial, and they mentioned that, how can I go alone without you? Then say that no worries, this all arrangement of Yoga Maya will be there for 100 years. And Radharani still insists, how can I go? Why can I live Vrindavan? Said no worries, Vrindavan is also the, you are not going out for Vrindavan, but this is an extension. There'll be Govardhan, there'll be all the Yamuna, there'll all the plants, the trees, and the mountains, and the birds, and the peacocks, and everybody would be there.
Yeah.
And then, Radharani agreed, and Krishna also had to come down in that. So that's why Krishna had to come down on this entirely, and then Radharani had to be there on the earthly planet for 100 years. Krishna was there for 120 years. Shankachuda was there.
Yeah.
And it was quite beautiful that way, if you see it.
Yeah, when he appears, he has many targets to fulfill. It says when he shoots arrow, we only hit the one target. When Krishna comes for something on the planet or anywhere, he doesn't only come for one purpose. He has many purposes to fulfill. Even though, if you see, I was just reading Bhakti Vinod Thakur Jai Dharma, where he was mentioning that 108 Upanishads, when they got to know that Krishna is going to take a birth or going to appear on the planet, so they were also begging, okay, I want to also take a part. So Lord said, okay, you can go. So that's how they became the 108 prime gopis. The 108 Upanishads, they just took the form of the gopis in Vrindavan. So there are many things, it just comes up just to enhance the pastime of the Lord. So yeah, there's many more to come. So next 3-4 days.
Another thing I think I was reading or hearing something, that when Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were the two emerald trees. They were standing there for almost 20,000 years in the courtyard of Nanda Bhavan. Means it's happened like 20,000 years ago. In earthly years, especially. So then before that, when Narada Muni came to the celestial region, there these two Kubera, sons of Kubera, the Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were so intoxicated. They were so much in enjoying with the females and celestial beings, and they were naked and completely and intoxicated. And Narada Muni came there. Narada Muni then seeing the ladies, seeing the Narada Muni, they just covered, just ran away. But this Nalakuvera and Manigriva are so intoxicated, and they didn't even realize that this is the Brahmarshi Narada Dev. He is highly respected, revered. They didn't do anything, and so seeing this, Narada Muni realized that they are completely mad, completely gone. Their original consciousness has to be come back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not good for them. So Narada Muni said that So you're acting like, so anything that devotee does is like a chastisement, but it's good for them. So this way, Narada Muni then just punish in this way, or punish or justice, or favored in this way, you can say that will be there as like a dump, so that you'll realize this. So Narada Muni cursed them that it could be like a tree, like, so senseless nonsense. So then they realize their mistakes. They realize that they are going to become a tree in the. So then said Krishna, they came forward and begged for forgiveness, and then requested to Narada Dev that, okay, please forgive us, and please. Narada said, no worries. So be there, and in Dwapara Yuga, this millennium, Dwapara Yuga, Krishna will come, the Supreme Lord, and then by the touch of Krishna will deliver both of you. So this was the great devotee's blessings and the mercy. So here, this was happened almost 20,000 years ago. And with the time, that the beginning of this, the Chadra Yuga, or the beginnings of the Yuga, that's where we were the Mother Earth and all this in atrocities, not the Satya Yuga, beginning of the Dwapara Yuga. That's where the atrocities of all happened on the Mother Earth, and then going back to Brahmadeva, and that's the time. So then here Narada Dev said that Lord will come. So just to fulfill the devotee's desire and the words, that's another aspect of it. Krishna had to come down. The Lord said this one, Lord, I think it's somewhere in the Bhagavatam, it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Just because of to fulfill my devotee's word, I had to come down. Another aspect of it. So it's quite nice, to see that.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody has any question?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, nice class.
Hare Krishna.
I have one question. Because of the curse of Sri Dham, which is the Radharani's brother, that's why she could not marry to the Krishna in a material world when they came.
I never heard, Mataji. Where did you hear that?
I heard on a TV serial.
No. What was the question? They could not meet, you mean?
They could not marry each other because of the curse. They have to live separately for 100 years.
Yeah.
That was I saw in a TV serial.
Mataji.
They show like that.
That's why we need to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, not a TV serial. TV serials are not our authorities. Okay, we need to take up the process.
But they are saying, so I wanted to find out whether it is true or not.
No, it could be, but I haven't heard anywhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is there. It might be checked out with the proper authentic way, because with TV serials we don't take up serious to them, because they are meant for entertainment and they can add so many other things. So it could be, it could not be, but not in my knowledge. If anybody has, or they know it, they can approve for this statement. But for my side, Mataji, I don't know.
One thing is, the one fact is this is all esoteric, the very confidential, the aspects of it. Gargacharya is the great devotee of the Lord, I think it's mentioned. But yeah, there were some curses in between the Sridham and Radharani. That's where it's mentioned. That's why they had to come down. But the separation between Radharani and Krishna is not the primary reason for this one. It's not because the curse led them to come down to the earthly planet. But the separation from them is that's Yogamada's arrangement, so that Krishna, in one sense, Radha and Krishna were never separated in Vrindavan. Krishna never left Vrindavan. And even the books reveals that, scripture reveals that every day or every night they were meeting. But on the other hand, Yogamaya arranged that, okay, there is also a separation from Krishna. That's also another feeling of it. Actually, Vasudeva Krishna went to Madhura and Dwarika, not original Vrindavan Krishna. So Vasudeva Krishna. So in one sense, there was no separation of, between Radha and Krishna. But outwardly, it was there because of Krishna had many other plans, as Yogamaya arranges this because of Krishna had to, there's a burden, right? Pranaya sadhuna vinashaya, to eradicate all the burdens and as a multi-purpose. So this way that had to happen. In another sense, there was no separation between them and Krishna, because Krishna never leaves from that. This is also a little more, what we can say that, pure devotee, they kind of realize these things.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. That's my understanding, Guruji.